This is very likely one of the locations where the Black Cat DLC will take place, and we can already take a very interesting look inside. So let's do that in this video and also kind of take a look at what we learned from the missions that happened before this big DLC. If you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. When I was swinging past the Manhattan Museum of Contemporary Art that is over here on the map, I immediately knew that this entrance looked familiar. The first screenshot that was namely released of the City That Never Sleeps DLC was namely from this museum, as you see right here, implying that it will very likely play a part in the first chapter that is launching on October 23rd. Remember also at the end of the Black Cat missions, so after you found all the cats and get the dark suit, Yuri calls you with the following information.
No one even saw her sneak in.
She knew I'd find the cats and report them to you. She played me, again. What'd she take?
Just her old costume and gear.
She let me find 50 million worth of loot just so she could get her stuff back. Which means she's got something even bigger planned.
So yes, we saw that in the trailer that Sony released for the DLC as well. She got her outfit back, and as Spider-Man mentions, she is likely planning something bigger. I think she's planning to rob the Manhattan Museum of Contemporary Art. The DLC is also called The Heist, so it all falls perfectly in line. There's now the Home Again exhibition in the South Gallery. Maybe that has something extremely valuable. Well, and this is where it gets crazy. So I did some research because obviously this museum is real as well. It's also in Manhattan. But while looking for some extra info, I typed in Spider-Man as well. And then I found a video from UNTOUCHABLE, someone who also made crazy unlimited XP glitches in God of War and stuff like that. Anyway, he further proved my point that this museum is one of the locations where the DLC will likely take place, because you can actually enter this museum. Yes, really. You do this again via a weird spot that UNTOUCHABLE on YouTube found. If you namely go to the back of the museum, where you can also sometimes fight a thug crime, now you just crawl up the door all the way up and then press X to get inside, and voila, you are inside the museum. So it's obviously empty right now. Insomniac is of course still working on the DLC. The content is not in the game yet. But the fact that you can also get inside kind of shows you that there is more to this place that will be added likely on October 23rd when this Heist DLC is live. So yes, you can see everyone like walk outside, wall run against everything inside the museum, and also swing under the city, kinda toy around that way, but you will easily like fall down and die if you don't swing correctly. Not that you want to stay here for long anyways, but it's just very interesting that this location shows up in a teaser image for the City That Never Sleeps DLC. The building is of course already in the game and also enterable. It kind of all combines and makes my theory that this is one of the locations for the first expansion more likely. I can totally see a scenario where Black Cat will rob this museum or just steal something valuable there. We also saw some things in her hideout, like a painting and a statue, and at that statue Peter notes that that was the first time he caught her when she was stealing that statue. In her hideout she also has a ton of financial data on the Maggia crime family, the sort of mafia in the Marvel comics that hires supervillains to do the dirty work for them. So it will be interesting to see if this will have any connection to the DLC. Peter thinks that she's trying to blackmail them, and that could of course set up an interesting story. We know there will be one new enemy faction in the Heist DLC, so maybe those are members of the Maggia family that we have to fight them as well, maybe alongside Black Cat. I mean, it seems like Black Cat is now just playing Spider-Man, but maybe in the end they work together to take out this threat. Insomniac already said that there will be twists in the relationship between Spider-Man and Black Cat, so that it will not be like identical to the stories that are already out there. Of course, just like we saw in the main story of this game, so it should be surprising, this DLC. In a recent video I showed you a clip of a recent live stream from Insomniac where they kind of dodged the question regarding more villains alongside the Black Cat in the first DLC, so I would not be surprised if maybe the Maggia family hired one of the supervillains to take them out. What is also good to note is that the entrance has changed since the first photo that was shared back in April. In this picture from the collector's edition that showed the City That Never Sleeps DLC, we see that one of these big things with the yellow lines is like covering the entrance a lot, while if we go to the location in the game right now during night, we see that they like moved that big thing more to the left, so you can see the entrance a little bit more. It's a small change, but I still thought it was good to point out. So yes, interesting things. I'm of course curious to hear what you think as well, so let me know your theories in the comments down below. Again, the Black Cat DLC called The Heist will be dropping on October 21st and is part of the City That Never Sleeps Season Pass for $25 or also as a standalone download. If you got the collector's edition like me or got the special edition of the game, then the DLC is already included. Subscribe of course for everything Spider-Man PS4. When we know more about this DLC, I'll of course let you know here on the channel. But before I let you go, I'll of course show you some awesome Spider-Man PS4 pictures I got sent to me via Twitter at JorRaptor or Instagram JorRaptor as well. Follow me there, and if you send your pictures on Twitter, use the hashtag SpiderRaptor because otherwise it will be hard to track. I see many people forget this, so please do it. Also, no more than 4 photos please, and no story spoilers. Okay, let's get into it. We start with this very cool selfie from Jack W99 in the Stark suit with a very realistic New York as background. Like, especially the photos with the Stark suit look super realistic. But yeah, this photo is also very well positioned and just overall simple but totally effective. Got another cool one from Instagram. This one is from Flow-like, from again the Stark suit, but this time in a burning house. Only it seems like Spider-Man does not care as he used it as a nice background for a stylish pose. Now with love the lightning, the shadow on the chest making the eyes kind of stand out, just a nice shot, but mostly of course nice timing. Speaking of nice timing, we got the boss himself here in a picture, and this of course during one of the melee challenges where he is watching you. It's very hard to get him in a shot like this because he like disappears when you come close. And then he like throws a smoke bomb too, but Shadow did make a cool picture, awesome job. And of course I know what the role of this character in the game is, I just did not want to spoil that in my previous video where I touched on this cool detail. You can watch that video by the way if you haven't already by clicking on the screen. More Stark suit photos, I mean why not, because this one from Space Cowboy is awesome, swinging through Manhattan with the great timing, but mostly the placement of Spider-Man and the background is really well done. I love it. Why is everyone sending me only Stark shots? Kidding of course, but still I wanted to show this one as well from Elino with awesome webs coming out of the web shooters from Spider-Man. Really nice blurry backgrounds and I love the colors here as well. Subscribe for way more Spider-Man PS4 videos, including photo highlights of suits that are not only the Stark suits. Of course, if your photo was not highlighted, then there's obviously still a chance, but do remember that I get a ton, so I really gotta pick and choose. Like this video to support channel, check out my recent video on an update that was delayed, and the fact that Insomniac is hyping up the DLC quite a lot, and I will speak to you next time. Goodbye.